We all know that the education system in South Africa is hugely challenged, and it continues to be so. Now there's a project that is trying to deal with a lot of those challenges. It's called the OGLE Educational Kiosk. And on the line with us, we've got Stanley Edwards, who is the Director of Platypus Digital. Tell us a little bit more about the project. Stanley, thanks very much for joining us.
Yeah, thanks very much for the opportunity.
Stanley, how did you come up with this project? What is it, and what drove you to creating it?
Well, you know, we live in this world where we're all connected. We're all connected to our mobile phones, through the web, through tablets, all sorts of things. And some of the challenges we've got in South Africa is access to broadband, the speed of broadband, and the cost of broadband. And when you look at education, I mean, there's such a lot of educational content out there, but a lot of people don't have access to it because they don't have internet access, and obviously they might be sensitive to data charges. So what we've done with a kiosk, I mean, a kiosk is simply a digital content vending machine which we place into a school. It works with this very simple touchscreen interface. So any learner or teacher can go up to the kiosk, browse the content via the touchscreen interface, build up a collection of education content, and then download that to the device of their choice, which might be their mobile phone, a USB stick, or any sort of memory device, and then take it away from the kiosk and then watch it afterwards. So it's really about delivering educational content to our learners who so desperately need it.
You know, Stanley, I looked at this project, and I mean, in principle, I think it's a very interesting one. What I wondered, though, was the costs of this. The cost, who gets and pays for the kiosks to go into the school? Who pays? Does the student, if the student wants to download that material onto their cell phone, for example, or if they want to download that material even onto a USB stick, do they have to pay for that material?
No, there's absolutely no cost for the education content. So we're working with a number of education suppliers who give us curriculum-aligned education content. So the likes of Mindset Learn and SABC Education. That content, we deliver that content to the hard drives that are on the kiosk. So taking it off the kiosk there's absolutely no cost for the learner or the teacher to get teacher support material, or for a learner to get education content. We don't charge the schools to place the kiosks in the schools. It's done through donor funding or sponsorship through corporates. But we fund the kiosk through providing other services on the kiosk as well. So we sell premium content. So that might be content from National Geographic or Discovery or BBC Education. And then we also sell premium content such as music and movies, TV shows. And that's what the revenue shares from that funds the kiosk, which we share with the school and give the money back to the donor, and which allows us to scale and sustain the project.
Stanley, have you I want to say test-drived, but it would be test-driven, the project already?
We do have 2 demo kiosks, one based in our office in Cape Town and one up in Johannesburg. So we literally launched the kiosks towards the end of last year. We must have done about 60, 70 presentations to a number of corporate sponsors and donors and content providers. And the response has been phenomenal. Obviously, as you said, I mean, our education system is extremely challenged. We can't get basic education content to learners through traditional methods such as delivering textbooks. What the digital platform allows, I mean, the technology is all there for us to use. You know, I mean, all kids have got mobile phones, they've got tablets, they've got access to media devices. So it really is about getting the content to them as easily as possible and giving it to them for free so they can really engage with the content and use it to their best ability.
Okay, now I'm going to play devil's advocate. As you say,
Yep.
All kids have got tablets. What kids in extremely disadvantaged areas have got tablets?
Well, I mean, you can purchase a DVD player, for example, which has a USB port on, which costs around 200 Rand. So you can take a piece of content off the kiosk onto a USB stick and play it via a DVD player. So there are a lot of ways to consume content. Obviously, the content varies from basic audio content. So most mobile phones play audio content. So you'll be able to play audio. So depending on the handset you have, you can obviously choose what sort of content you want. If it's media-rich video content, if it's an e-book, an audio book, you can choose, obviously, depending on the device or the method you've got to play it back. But, you know, obviously mobile phones are just prolific, you know. I mean, you know, we've been to some of the poorest schools in Philippi and asked the headmasters and teachers how many of their kids have got mobile phones, and most of them have. It's quite incredible.
Are we talking, when we say mobile phones, are we saying smartphones, or are we saying that anybody with a very basic phone can download stuff?
Absolutely. You can download off the kiosk via Bluetooth or via Wi-Fi. So, as I said, most phones, even basic phones, play audio. So, I mean, if it's an audio podcast, an audio lesson about magnetism or about healthcare or about sports training, you can really consume that content on the device you already have. So what the kiosk does, it gives people who don't have access to the internet or have access to the content that's already available on the web, it gives them access to that content. And obviously, there's no data charge and no cost to them to take that content.
Okay, great. Stanley, thank you very much for giving us the information. If people are interested in engaging with you, how do they do it?
They can go and have a look at our website, which is oglemedia.co.za. So that's OGLE media.co.za. And my email is stanley@platypus.co.za. And they're quite welcome to drop me a line, and I will be happy to engage with them.
Fantastic. Stanley Edwards of Platypus Digital.